Hey there everybody, it's the Doctor here with Typical Manga Fan, and this episode of the Typical Manga Reviews we're going to be focusing on One Piece chapter 794, Sabo's Adventure. And we have a neat little cover page here this time around. It's the request this time was Doflamingo lending his sunglasses to an actual flamingo, who is doing his own little puppetation of the murderous Wizard of Oz.
Huh.
I mean, like I said, you got Dorothy, the Scarecrow, Tin Man, Lion, and they're all armed to the teeth.
It's interesting. I don't know. It's definitely an interesting type of cover page there.
And we're still not seeing Doflamingo's eyes because he's covering his face.
Yeah.
Anyway, the chapter proper begins at Kiros' house, which apparently was not destroyed in the whole birdcage situation. Like I said, half of them are asleep. Like Usopp, Law, and Luffy and Kiros, I think, are all asleep there. And Sabo says not to wake him. He just wanted to see Luffy's face again before he headed out again. Oh, Bellamy is there too, by the way. Apparently CP0 is on their way back, so it's time for them to get out of there while the getting's good. And
so yeah, CP0 hasn't appeared much, have they? We've seen them once, right?
I think what happens is that they did their thing about the newspapers and then left the island. And then apparently they got called back after hearing about the whole fiasco that's over there right now.
Okay, so are they more powerful than
no idea
than CP9? Because they're, I mean, like I thought CP9 was. I mean, I think I said this last time. I thought CP9 was the most powerful.
I think they're definitely most. They seem like the way. I don't know if things changed in the 2 years though. Remember?
Well, I mean, because CP9 is supposed. They say CP0 is off the books, but so was CP9. CP9 is off the books too. Or maybe CP0 was supposed to come in after CP9 got destroyed by the Straw Hats. I don't know.
I don't know. It's like that probably did do some damage to their prestige at least. Anyway, Sabo was telling the conscious Straw Hats like Frankie, Robin, and Zoro that about himself. Because he's been particularly about the fact that they adopted each other as brothers, and pretty much he's been dead this whole time.
Yeah, apparently, when he was, shot by it was one of the world nobles, right?
Yeah, Celestial Dragon there.
Yeah. When he was shot by them, he basically lost his memories.
Yeah, the trauma of the injury and everything just kind of... The only thing that stuck was the fact that he did not want to go anywhere near his actual parents.
Yeah, and then, yeah, it is, if we didn't... Out of context, that sounds really bad.
I mean, knowing Sabo's backstory and the way it is there, I mean, it makes sense why he would feel that strongly about it, but he'd forgotten completely about everything else, Ace and Luffy and all that.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically he grew up with the revolutionaries with no memories, and he grew up not knowing about his brothers until Ace's death, in which that was when he finally got back all of his memories.
Yeah, like I said, that's actually quite sad. Like the thing that triggers his memories coming back is learning that one of his brothers died.
Yeah, well, that's interesting that it was when Dragon's response to
Luffy's
like, your son.
Yeah. You gotta be kidding me! Oh, yeah.
That's exactly the same response. He's definitely part of the family then.
Yeah,
that's their response to everything.
That's like a very Luffy-like response, actually, or even Garp response.
Yeah, definitely. Like Luffy and Garp had the same response when they was like, "Oh, Dragon's your son slash father."
Well,
and
actually,
like, yeah.
I remember Luffy's response was, "Wait, I have a dad."
Oh, was it that?
Yeah, it's like, "You saw my dad? That's great. I have a dad."
I know Garp was definitely like, oh yeah, my son's Monkey D. Dragon, whatever.
Yeah, and then everybody freaks out. I was like, I might have said too much. Just forget about all that.
Yeah, you can't forget about that. But yeah, so he's definitely part. I wonder why Dragon's so different from his. I mean, he's similar in that regard, but I mean, in terms of demeanor, he is very different from the other two.
Well, I don't know. Like we haven't seen him a lot, like personally, so I can't but wonder if he's actually just as goofy. We just keep seeing him at the serious moments. But
yeah.
But I said, like, learning that Ace died, it pretty much triggers Sabo's memories and just leaves him like a wreck.
Oh, by the way, I want to know one thing. Look at the page? Look at one of the pages. Who do you notice in the background?
Which one exactly? Which page number?
Let's see. It was the one where they all the revolutionaries were gathered in one place. Oh, let me see one sec. It was. Okay. Oh, it was page 9. Page 9.
Page 9.
Who's on the right? Next to Ivanov, whatever his name was.
Ivankov?
Yeah, Ivankov. On the right. Who do you think that is?
Oh, I think we saw him in the original flashback too. But is that Kuma?
Yeah, it's Kuma. Look at the pants. You can tell it's bears.
Oh yeah, you're right. And he's wearing a hoodie
Kuma.
there. I think he was in the original flashback too. I'd have to go back and check about that.
He was. I know in the anime he was. I don't remember if he was in the. What do you mean by original flashback? You mean
like during Luffy's flashback?
Oh, I don't remember.
Like right after Marineford.
Oh, well, maybe. But there's another one. But it's interesting they're not showing his face. Because we already know at this point. But I guess they just.
But I do like the fact that they're obscuring. I like the fact that they're obscuring it with the speech bubbles, though.
Yeah, it's really interesting. But yeah, it's definitely Kuma. It's obvious. You can tell by his body shape too and his size.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's so basically Sabo decided to come in, help out.
Well, wait,
Luffy as well as.
Before I do that, like I said, the whole thing about learning, rediscovering his memory, like it just leaves Sabo like a screaming wreck for a bit, and then he knocks he's actually comatose for like 3 full days.
Yeah.
Which turns Koala into a crying wreck.
It's interesting, but yeah. So anyway, 2 years later, he basically comes in he goes to Chris Rosa to get the fruit from from the Doflamingo.
He's actually been aiming for it. Like that's actually the second time in all of One Piece I can think of where a character was specifically going for a certain devil fruit. Third, if you get them going for the Op fruit.
What was the first time?
Blackbeard and the dark fruit.
Oh yeah. Okay.
He wanted that fruit specifically. He killed the guy to get that fruit.
Yeah, he killed I forgot his name.
That's what started the whole fiasco with him.
Yeah, I know, but it was who was the guy? It was the third commander, right?
Yeah, Sachi or something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, then they show the whole flashback of when Luffy actually talked to Sabo, because that happened off screen. So now they're actually showing us what actually happened.
Yeah, and one thing I like is like Sabo's trying to confirm who he is by saying like the time they stole the Don Saki and exchanged their vows. Like he doesn't even finish before Luffy's glomping him. Like he doesn't even finish his sentence.
Yeah.
Also, one thing I do like on here is like Bartolomeo's watching this whole thing. Like as much as he idolizes Luffy, watching Luffy turn into this like blubbering kid in front of his brother, like at the side of his brother, like doesn't hurt his image in Bartolomeo's eyes. If anything, it seems to be just make it stronger because he's been calling him like Sabo Dai Senpai, great senpai, this whole arc.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Bartolomeo is not one of those guys who only like superficially loves Luffy. I think he understands that Luffy is more than just what he sees. Yeah. I think he actually. It's not that he bought into Luffy. It's that I think he's actually one of the few people who actually really saw Luffy as an inspirational figure, and that and he understands Luffy is not perfect. I mean, remember, Luffy got beat at Marineford.
Yeah.
Remember that, but that was still the event that helped him fall in love with Luffy. So it's clearly not Ben Wagner.
Yeah, in fact, one of the things we saw was like someone who was him like retaliating against someone who was badmouthing Luffy for failing at Marineford.
Yeah. So it's not about the winning or the whole the front of being strong. It's that he understands that Luffy has his flaws, but he loves the whole package, right? Yep. And I think that's what I love about Bartolomeo and why I'm not afraid of. Like there was never going to be like a trope or arc where Bartolomeo's like feels betrayed by. It's not like a Gollum thing, okay, where he's like betrayed by them. Like he feels betrayed by them. It's like no, he's totally into Luffy. He knows what Luffy's. He understands Luffy's like goals and all that. So he's definitely a Luffy fan. Like,
yeah, I mean, I still like that fact, though, just because like these badasses and pirates and stuff, you would think that's something they'd be wary of, but at the same time, like it is a touching moment, and we get a nice touching reunion between Sabo and Luffy as well, and then like Sabo asks if it's okay for him to eat the flame fruit, and he's just like Luffy's just like nodding emphatically, yes, like that's for the best. Also, back in the present, like I said, he's ready to leave. He's got to see Luffy's face. He's satisfied, but he also made a Vivre card for Luffy, like, and he takes a piece of it for himself so he can keep track, so he can find Luffy if he ever needs to. And he gives the rest of it to the crew, so that because, well, I can only imagine what it's like trying to keep the reins on Luffy, but I'm leaving them in your hands. I like this one panel right after that. Like we have Robin kind of waving to him, but I also have Frankie. Apparently, he's crying and he's sorting out his own eye. His eye is smoking.
Yeah.
He's still got the Terminator eye going there too. And Zoro's just kind of finding this funny because that's the same thing. It's almost the same thing Ace said to them when they first met.
Yeah. Yeah. So. It's a rather interesting type of it's an interesting situation we have here, where Luffy again doesn't see one of the he doesn't get to say goodbye to Sabo, like kind of like he didn't get to say hello to Shanks, but it was actually like the people he was with who get to talk to him, like it's just.
But he does know Sabo was there. At least he never knew about Shanks.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I don't think he'd mind too much. I think they kind of know each other well enough at this point.
Yeah, they understand.
And then we get a funny little scene like where they where once again Sabo gets a snail call this time from Hack. It's like they're talking about it, and then Sabo just hangs up on him all of a sudden, which prompts Hack to get so mad that he beats up the same guy Koala was beating up the other chapter ago.
Yeah.
And then apparently he starts riding on some black crows. I'm not quite sure what those are about just yet. That was presumably some other member of his group that can do that. I actually saw some theories that could be Moria.
Moria? Well,
shadowy black birds.
But how would that be possible? Why would it be Moria?
I said it would fit with the shadow powers. I think that's the main reason people suspect that. I don't know if it is or not, just because that doesn't seem like it's Sabo seems to be asking that he can bring these out whenever they want, but I saw another translation that seemed to say things differently, so that might be something to kind of keep an eye out for.
Yeah. Why would Moria be a good guy?
He's not necessarily a good guy, but he could be revolutionary.
I mean, why be revolutionary? Why would it just seems so radical from being a Shichibu? I mean, he was betrayed, but still.
Well, I mean, it could be a case of nowhere else to go, or maybe like they recruited him. I don't know. Right. Yeah, but basically, that's pretty much where the chapter ends, though, with the black crows and Sabo flying off. And like I said, I have one thing to say about this chapter in particular, like one thing myself to say. When I first read it, I thought the amnesia thing was something of a cop-out. A necessary cop-out, but a cop-out nonetheless. It's just like our whole thing with Sasuke during the Naruto Gaiden arc. Like, basically, when we were suspecting whether or not Salad was actually Karin's child instead of Sakura's. And I was always saying that the only way that you could actually make Sasuke look good in that situation was if he wasn't aware of it. It's the same kind of thing here. Like, it's like amnesia is probably one of the only ways you can really justify Sabo not contacting Ace or Luffy without really tarnishing the image that Oda's been building up for him. But here's something else, though. There's this particular thing I saw like on the forums, like Arlong Park forums in particular, that changed my mind on that. And maybe actually it says, maybe still a bit of a cop-out, but an extremely well-timed one. And what it is, like, there's one of the posts on there about this chapter was like, I've actually got it in front of me, so I'm going to read it verbatim here. It's like, nice to see that the explanation why Sabo did not come to save Ace in form of amnesia comes in an arc where the biggest tragedy was people having been turned into toys and forgotten by their family members. I mean, everybody in this arc was having trouble remembering loved ones. So, I mean, you could put in Sabo and his reveal anywhere else, but here it fits best. So that made me like, that changed my mind from thinking of it as kind of a cop-out, albeit a necessary one, to like a brilliant little moment right there.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, it still feels a bit cheesy or cliche, but at the same time, like I said, the guy knows. Even then, like I said, cliches are not bad. I mean, you can still use them and use them well. So, and it's kind of interesting. Like I said, it also explains about a lot about Sabo's behavior now. Like he's after the devil. He's after the devil fruit. He's after Ace's fruit to carry that on. He's extremely protective of Luffy because. Remember, like, his thing right now is, like, if Luffy ever needs him, he will go to Luffy no matter what.
Yeah.
And, in fact, he's even got himself the Viver card now to make sure he can do it.
Yeah.
And I said before, I also like the whole thing with... It's such a minor thing. Like, he only appears for, like, one panel, but I do love the part with Bartolomeo.
Yeah. Bartolomeo's always been an interesting character, so I'm not surprised. I'll say that. It's nice to see. I mean, look, it's something that's nothing much happened. This is just a clarification. That chapter.
Yeah.
It's still part of rap. I mean, so when I read this One Piece, I wasn't like I was hyped for anything. I was just like, okay, so we get a little more explanation.
Yeah.
Because look, all this stuff that happens in the chapter, we had already assumed. Like it's like, okay, I'm assuming that for whatever reason he couldn't get to Luffy in time. Maybe he was injured for a long time. This is stuff that's just like, oh, by the way, this is actually what happened. You kind of get, you probably got it already though. Like it's just like to put.
I mean, this is confirmation. Like all the hype stuff already came and went. So this is almost a breather chapter in a way. Because all the stuff all the hype stuff had already come and gone with Akai, Sakazuki, and Fujitora.
Yeah.
Also, I want to draw your attention to what could be a small art gap, unless I'm missing something here. Go back to page 5.
Page 5.
Yeah.
Where? What's that?
That's the one where the first page where they're at Kiros' house. Okay.
Yeah.
Now look at the bottom panel on the bottom right.
That's Frankie.
No, Frank. Well, Frankie's there sitting next to Robin. I mean, on the floor, sleeping.
Oh, on the floor. Okay. Law, Luffy.
On the right.
I'm on the right. The floor on the. Oh no, not Frankie. Who is that? Yeah, right. Is that Kiros? It is Kiros.
Yeah, but here's the thing. How many legs does he have?
Well, they don't show the whole thing.
But you can still make out what looks like a second leg right there.
Yeah.
I know it might just be an art gaff, or maybe just whatever.
Oh, yeah. For some reason, I thought it was Frankie because they look alike in this type of angle.
No, but Frankie's sitting in front of Robin, fixing himself, and then on the floor you have Law, Bellamy, and Kiros, and then Usopp and Luffy are on the bed. Well, Usopp's kind of on the bed.
Yeah.
I like the fact that the ones that they are resting, though, like the other three weren't really banged up, so they can just kind of stay up. But I was actually gonna need to change. I don't know why. I kind of like seeing Law just like down like that, like just resting like that with everybody else.
Yeah.
Right. Did you have anything particular about the chapter you wanted to go over? Anything that
come
to mind? Okay.
Not really, because I think I always say everything I was explaining.
Yeah. Like I said, it's not an eventful chapter, like you said. It mostly just confirms things a lot of people may have already suspected. The only real mystery here is that what's the deal with the Black Crows at the end. But at the same time, like I said, there is a lot of stuff going on. Like, so we're in a transition period. We're going to see like a lot of different stuff here. So, otherwise, the only other really important thing in this chapter is the fact that it says like there won't be a chapter this next week.
Yeah.
So, well, that's a bummer. But like I said, that seems to be kind of the pattern. At least we got some nice stuff before then. So we'll live. Right. Like I said, so at that point, that's it. That's been our review of One Piece, chapter 794, Sabo's Adventure. So if you have any comments of your own on there, if there's some other little detail you spotted that we missed, go ahead and bring it up in the comments. Meantime, go ahead and take us away.
Bye!